You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday. Yes, it is. 26th day of March, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. This broadcast is open to the public. Everybody, everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. Unlike our first broadcast of the day, which is members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. If you have not yet taken your 1-week free trial, just go to mytradingiq.com, and at the very top of the page, there's a link. It says 5-day free trial. No credit card required. Now, that's a little bit misleading because it does say free trial, but it's really not free. It's free to you, but it costs us time, energy, focus, resources, even finances. But that's okay. We invite you to take us up on our offer. Enjoy the free trial without any worries about money, okay? Because you really need a clear head to absorb everything you're going to experience over the coming 5 days so that at the end of the trial, you can make a well-informed and intelligent decision as to whether or not trading is right for you. So again, mytradingiq.com, links at the top of the page, 5-day free trial, credit card required, because we foot the bill. Now, when the live training room ends, and during the live training room each day, what we're doing is we're trading real time in live markets and teaching at the same time. It's an interactive environment where you can ask questions and get answers, okay? And trade along in your demo account. Once the live training room ends at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a 30-minute break, and then we come back for this broadcast. Now, there's 2 different ways to join this broadcast live. Best way, you only have to do it once. Go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down the page to where you see afternoon broadcast. Click the link. Complete the 30-second registration form, and you're done. You never have to do that again. What will happen going forward, every trading day, you'll get an email. In the email, there will be a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it automatically logs you into our platform. Benefit of doing it that way is you have access to the question box, so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there's going to be days that you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you still want to join live. You can. And there'll be days when you're busy and you can't join live, but you want to get caught up later. You can do that too. Of course, I'm talking about our YouTube channel. It's really easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. You already know the YouTube part, so really all you have to remember is CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, we're actually simulcasting, broadcasting on our platform and on our YouTube channel. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there are over 2,400 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's really a good way to get to know who we really are. Not just today, not just this week. Thanks to the power of YouTube, you can scroll back 6 weeks, 6 months, a year, 3 years, 8 years. I tested it myself the other day to see how far back I could go. 8 years. Every day. Every trading day. That's a lot. Now, of course, you're not going to watch all of them. I'm sure you have better things to do. But what you should do is you should scroll back and just pick some days at random. Listen in a little bit, fast forward, listen in a little bit. You'll discover the thread of connectivity, the thread of continuity that's woven through each and every daily broadcast and through our very vibrant trading community. youtube.com/CFRN. Let's get started with our daily devotional and a word of prayer. Then we'll get into the markets. And about 12:45, 12:50, Michael will join us. He'll give us a recap of everything that happened this morning in the live training room. Then we'll go live on the TradingView platform for 30 minutes, do some live trading, and answer your questions at the same time. And then I'll wrap things up with the remainder of my recap and our good word for the day. Now, we finished yesterday the devotional topic that we had been on for a little over a week. The giants in your life and how to make them fall. Just as David had Goliath as his giant, we all have our own giants. And I know some of you were surprised by some of the topics that we covered, but they were very important. And when I discussed some of the topics with some people off of the broadcast itself, when I said comfort, they go, "Oh, I can see that." I'm going, huh. Okay. So anyway, we're moving on to a different topic now for the next few days. How to hear the voice of God. Now let me just clarify something. The voice of God does not sound like Charlton Heston. Some of you are old enough to remember that reference. Some of you may not be. Actually, the voice of God is more like a whisper. Our scripture today is 1 Samuel chapter 3, verses 6 through 10. Hanny says it is the idols that we worship away from God. What is, Hanny? Anyway, if you missed the 9 days of our previous devotional topic, you can go to our YouTube channel and you can listen to them. And we talk about, and one of the topics was the idols. The idol could be your favorite football team or baseball team or basketball team. We even talked about it last week. When your team's playing, that's justification to stay home from church. We definitely want to be aware of that. So if you missed that topic, ran for 9 days, I think. You can go right to YouTube. You can hear the whole thing, okay? Because we do the devotion part up front. So on with today's scripture. 1 Samuel 3, starting in verse 6. And I'm sharing with you from the Message translation. God called again, Samuel, Samuel. Samuel got up and went to Eli. I heard you call. Here I am. Again Eli said, Son, I didn't call you. Go back to bed. This all happened before Samuel knew God for himself. It was before the revelation of God had been given to him personally. God called again, Samuel. This was the third time. Yet again, Samuel got up and went to Eli. Yes, I heard you. Here I am. That's when it dawned on Eli that God was calling the boy. So Eli directed Samuel, go back and lie down. If the voice calls again, speak, God, I'm your servant, ready to listen. Samuel returned to his bed. And God called again, Samuel. That's when it dawned on Eli that it really was God speaking to Samuel. At this point, God came and stood before him exactly as before, calling out, Samuel, Samuel. This time, instead of running to Eli, Samuel answered, Speak, I'm your servant, ready to listen. We've talked in past devotions about the importance of listening. More important than talking in many cases. So we're going to start this topic with the loudest voice in your life, the whisper. Is it possible that what we perceive to be relational, emotional, and spiritual problems are actually hearing problems? Ears that have been deafened to the voice of God. And it's that inability to hear his voice that causes us to lose our voice and lose our way. Let me make a bold statement. Learning how to hear the voice of God is the solution to 1,000 problems, 10,000 problems. It's also the key to discovering our destiny and fulfilling our potential. His voice is love. His voice is power. His voice is healing. His voice is wisdom. His voice is joy. If your life is off key, maybe it's because you've been deafened by the negative self-talk that doesn't let God get a word in edgewise. Maybe you've listened to the voice of criticism so long you can't believe anything else about yourself. Or maybe it's the enemy's voice of condemnation that speaks lies about who you really are. If you don't silence those competing voices, they'll eventually deafen you. You won't be able to sing God's song because you won't be able to hear His voice. Is God's voice the loudest voice in your life? That's the question. If the answer is no, then that's the problem. We live in a culture where everyone wants to have his or her voice heard, but has so little to say. And that's because we do so little listening, especially to God. The best way to get people to listen to us is for us to listen to God. Why? Because then we'll have something to say that is actually worth hearing. Ultimately, all of us need to find our voice. And by voice, I mean the unique message God wants to speak through our lives. But finding our voice starts with hearing His voice. Let me issue a warning, though. If you aren't willing to listen to everything God has to say, you eventually won't hear anything He has to say. If you want to hear His comforting voice, you have to listen to His convicting voice. And it's often what we want to hear the least that we need to hear the most. Trust me, though, you want to hear what He has to say. Are you ready? Ponder this. When was the last time you heard God's voice? What did He say or ask of you? And here's the important one. How did you respond? Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, come before you today in prayer. Thankful for the scripture we shared in 1 Samuel, where he heard your voice calling him in the night. Lord, just as you spoke to Samuel, we pray that you would speak to us today. Open our ears, Lord, to hear your voice above the noise of this world. Help us to discern your will and your direction for our lives. Like Samuel, Lord, may we respond with humility and obedience to your call. Give us hearts that are eager to listen and willing to follow wherever you lead. If there are areas in our lives where we have not been attentive to your voice, forgive us. Help us to tune out distractions and to tune in to your voice speaking to us. Thank you, Lord, for your faithfulness in speaking to your people throughout history. May we be receptive to your voice today, knowing that you desire to lead us in paths of righteousness and peace. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. Everybody said, amen. Amen and happy Tuesday. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. And then I got a couple quick articles I want to share with you. And we'll get into the recaps, the alerts, all that stuff. Okay, starting in the US, the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. Currently the Dow is up 93 points. The NASDAQ is up 45. S&P 500 is up 11. The Russell 2000 is up 4. No movers, no shakers, but definitely green. In the commodity basket, crude oil is up 15 cents, trading 82.10 last. Gold is down $1, trading 21.97.30 last. Silver, no silver, down 31 cents, trading 24.59 last. That's a drop of roughly 1.25%. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei dropped 16 points. Shanghai rose 5. The Hang Seng gained 144 points, which is 1% adjacent, we'll call it. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE posted a gain of 7 points. The DAX rose 125. The CAC gained 25. Told you Sunday night and yesterday, this is probably going to be a pretty quiet sideways week. And with the markets being closed Friday, I suspect a lot of the deep pocket institutional traders are going to head for the Hamptons probably by lunch on Thursday. So, as it is every week, we trade what's in front of us. We had a mixed day in Asia. It was a green day for the UK. And so far, it is a green Radio Tuesday here in the US of A. So with that, we'll go to Logic 247. That's our 24/7 around the clock E-mini alert service. But it's not just the E-minis. It's also crude and gold and silver and the euro and bonds. We're in week 295. Over the last 295 weeks, we've issued over 16,300 individual handcrafted alerts. Now, Valerie did this recap this morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. Some things have changed since then. She'll update the recap this afternoon and again this evening before she retires, as she does every trading day. But here's where we stood this morning when she did the recap. Since the markets opened Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, we've issued a total of 32 alerts. We're still waiting on the outcome of 16. We've had 16 actionable alerts, of which 2, or 13%, would have been stopped out based on market structure and a very simple process that we teach all of our passport holders. Now, over the last 295 weeks, and those 16,300 individual alerts, what we've averaged on a weekly basis is 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out. Again, based on market structure and that very simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Now, before we go to the concierge trade alerts, two quick articles I want to share with you because we talked about this yesterday. So you you were given a heads up. And what are we talking about? The new stock that started trading today, DJT. Yes, that stands for Donald J. Trump. Donald Trump's social media platform, Truth Social, DJT. Now remember, well, it's in the article. Let me just share the article. Surged more than 30% in its first day of trading on the NASDAQ early this morning. Shares of Trump Media and Technology Group, Truth Social's parent company, were trading above $65 under the ticker symbol DJT. The company merged with Special Purpose Vehicle Digital World Acquisition, DWAC. Remember we looked at that stock yesterday? In a deal approved by shareholders last week. Prior to the merger, DWAC had been on the public market since 2021. So they've been trying to find a company to merge with because their business model failed, but they kept it as a reporting shell, and that's not an uncommon thing. In fact, I get newsletters all the time about different shells that are for sale. Trump founded Truth Social after he was kicked off all the other major social media apps like Facebook and Twitter, platform now known as X, following the January 6 Capitol riots back in 2021. He has since been reinstated on those platforms. Trump will maintain a roughly 60% stake in Truth Social with nearly 79 million shares. That translates to a valuation of more than $5 billion based on current trading levels. The merger comes as the former president faces a $454 million fraud penalty and grapples with a campaign fundraising shortfall as he gears up for the 2024 presidential rematch against current Commander-in-Chief Joe Biden. Now, here, Letitia James had a, you know what, let me just leave that alone. That's the end of that article. Okay, you can certainly go look it up yourself, DJT. That was so funny what I was about to say, but I don't want my YouTube channel yanked. Okay, what's the two things that people are always willing to spend money on? Well, at the top of the list is how to make money, right? But what's number 2 on the list? Think about it. How to lose weight. Viking Therapeutics stock surges today on weight loss pill data. Viking Therapeutics, trading under the symbol VKTX, reports positive data from the Phase 2 trial on its new weight loss drug. Viking stock has surged by over 20% in the morning session on this news. Now, what's the magic? I don't think there is any. They got positive results. What Phase 1 does is basically it just tests the safety. In other words, it won't kill you immediately. No one knows the long-term effects. I'm trying to think of the name of that stuff they used to sell in the drugstore, that once they finally figured out it could kill you, and it took, I think, a couple decades, they yanked it off the shelves. I forget the name of it. But you could get it at Walgreens or CVS, or it was, unlike the infomercials, it was sold in stores. Now, after 28 days of testing the pill, patients showed an up to 5.3% weight loss. So that's really positive news for the company. That's why you see the stock jumping right now. But you got to ask yourself, along with just taking this pill every day, a pill a day to melt the fat away, what else were they doing? Maybe nothing. Maybe they were told you can't eat right, you can't exercise. You just got to let the pill do the work. But I doubt it. I'm going to guess that this clinical trial group, they had them up in the gym at sunrise every morning. But I don't know that for a fact, so. Now, Viking is gearing up to be really good competition for the market leaders. Who are they? Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, both behemoths in the weight loss space. These GLP-1 drugs, as they're called, are just looking at the race that's on, and Viking is looking to be one of the leaders among the biotechs there. We did see last month the phase 2 injectable already showed pretty strong results by comparison to Wegovy, which is a Novo Nordisk drug, and Zepbound, Eli Lilly's drug. So as you can see on your screen, if you're looking at charts, Novo facing a little bit of pressure on this news because of Viking being up more than 21% earlier in the day. I don't know where it's at the moment. Maybe we'll check it later in the broadcast. It was up about 26%, and the amount of time it took the person to write this article, it went from 21 to 26% up. So really a strong day for the company on the news. And again, the symbol, want to look it up, VKTX, Viking Therapeutics. Okay, so we looked at the Logic 247 results. Now let's go to the concierge trade alerts. Now, as I said, the Logic alerts are 294 weeks old. That's when we rolled it out, that long ago. But years and years before that, we rolled out the CTAs, the concierge trade alerts. Now, the Logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock, 2 a.m., 2 p.m., whenever opportunity presents itself. Futures trade around the clock, and we have traders around the globe. Our day session is their night session, and vice versa. Unlike the Logic alerts, which have an entry price, an initial target designed to get your goal for the day, and additional targets, and then a final trade to target, the CTAs are different. Now let me explain. Our goal is for you to become self-sufficient. If you want to learn how to trade for a living, that's never going to happen as long as you're depending upon someone else to tell you when to get in and when to get out. That dog won't hunt. You've got to learn, be able to read the chart, understand what the chart is telling you, and instinctively know what the next high probability move is. Are you ever going to be 100%? Nope. Logic 247. After 294 weeks and over 16,300 individual alerts, best we've been able to do is roughly 80% of the time. Okay? So stop trying to be the perfect trader. That only exists in the minds of those people who write the clever ad copy on the websites and in the emails that convince you you can make $2,638.47 in your boxer shorts every morning at the kitchen table before breakfast. Should be illegal. Sadly, it's not. Now, when the CTA report is published every evening, first thing you want to do is go to the 30-minute chart for whatever markets you trade and make note of where price is at the time the report is published. Market opened last night. The Tuesday session began last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. I've been doing pretty good at getting out the report by 6:10, 6:15 of late, but I got hung up yesterday and it was 6:35. Okay, so 35 minutes into the open. So as we start looking at the charts today, I want you to remember that all of our members and all of our trial members had these targets last night, 5 minutes into the second 30-minute candle. Because we'll be looking at the 30-minute charts because that's where all the alerts are created, both the logic alerts and the concierge trade alerts. Now with the logic alerts, I look left for you to spot potential obstacles to the trade. That's why they have multiple targets. Once you get the hang of that, then you step your game up with the CTAs. This is your next step towards becoming self-sufficient. Being able to trade without having someone else tell you when to get in and get out. So make note of where price is at the time the report comes out. Then draw a line in the sand at the long target. Draw a line in the sand at the short target on your 30-minute chart. Those lines in the sand will serve as great visual cues to help you stay on the right side of the street. Now, if price gets above the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the long target. If price gets below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the short target. BBC stands for Bull Bear Cross. It's the green line that you'll see on all my charts. On my daily, on my 30-minute. It's called Bull Bear Cross because when price crosses above the green line, we anticipate higher prices relative to whatever time frame we're looking at. If price crosses below the green line, that's bearish, and we anticipate lower prices relative to whatever time frame we're looking at. Daily, 30-minute, 5-minute, tick chart, range chart, doesn't matter. That part's pretty simple. Now with the CTAs, this is where you're learning to look left yourself to spot potential obstacles to the trade. Maybe swing highs or swing lows that can become current resistance or support. You'll also learn how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. That's important because price is always trying to reach a weekly trading zone. The moment the markets open Sunday night, till they close Friday afternoon. On a normal week, they'll close this week Thursday afternoon. Price is always trying to get to a zone. If price is above the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to get to the zone overhead. Price is below the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to get to the zone below. Now, the zones are published for members and trial members every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Published the zones since December 14th, 2009. So we're closing in on 15 years. Beyond that, just resist the urge to make it more complicated. As long as you know which way the wind is blowing, it's pretty simple to reach your goal the day. Now, because this broadcast is open to the public, some of you, if you're not a member or trial member, you didn't get this report last night at 6:35. So if you want to grab a screenshot, you can. If you're watching after the fact on our YouTube channel, just hit pause. Jot down the numbers important to you, because before this broadcast ends, we're going to walk through each and every one of these individual markets. Now we're going to go look at the daily chart of the S&P 500 E-mini futures. Now, why are we looking at a daily chart? Nobody trades a daily chart, do they? Well, you and I don't. But the institutional traders, the ones who have accounts in the hundreds of millions and billions and even trillions of dollars, they look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. Again, it simply has to do with account size. They can stay in a profitable position far longer than you and I are comfortable with, and they can weather a much deeper drawdown than you or I would be liquid enough to weather. So, no matter what you trade, it could be a different futures market, it could be individual stocks, it could be crypto, Forex, ETF. If you'll train yourself to spend just 2 minutes with the daily chart of whatever you're about to trade before you start trading it, you'll see your trading results change in a positive way over time. You're literally looking over the shoulder of the people who actually move price. You see, the institutional traders trade in such size. They're the ones who move price, not you and I. So by looking over their shoulder, we can see a number of things. What are they doing today? Not much. We can see clearly that we're well off the high of the day. Where's our next major resistance? Well, this is Tuesday. Monday was sort of a nothing candle. Looks like we may have an outside day here. This was Friday. This was Thursday. This was Fed Day. This is the new all-time historic high. Now, I mentioned this morning, if price drops below 52.60, look for a pretty fast move to 52.20. The daily BBC is at 52.17. Price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. Call it the BBC. Price crosses below it, we're bearish. Expect lower prices. Price is above it, we're bullish, and expect higher prices. Now, the last time the market changed course was November 2nd. Price traded through the BBC. As you can see, price always reverts to the mean, and the pullback holds more often than it doesn't. But eventually, price will trade through. We had been in a downtrend for quite some time, so this was pretty important. Price traded above the BBC November 2nd, and then it confirmed on November 3rd because we opened and closed above the BBC. So did price just fly up in a straight line? No, that's not how markets work. Price moves in legs. Lag, retrace, lag, retrace, lag, retrace, lag, trace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg, retrace, leg. You get the idea, right? So we're sitting right on top of support at blue and climbing. If price today manages to close below blue and climbing right now is at about 52.92. You can see it right there on the screen. If we get below that, now I want to give it some room, so that's why I gave you the number 52.60. 52.60 to 52.20. BBC is at 52.17. That's kind of just a slam dunk. That could happen the twinkling of an eye. It takes financial commitment for price to rise, but for price to fall, all it takes is for the institutional buyers to hit the pause button. Now, if they hit the pause button long enough, then the institutions that specialize in short selling, they'll come out of the woodwork and hammer that thing down to a price where the institutional buyers can't resist the bargain. This move is so long in the tooth, I can tell you. It's that long in the tooth right there. You can see it with your own eyes, okay? Not only does price always revert to the mean, eventually it trades through, okay? Let's go to the 30-minute chart. Vertical line right here separates today, Tuesday, from Monday. Back here's Friday, back here's Thursday. Now, these are this week's weekly trading zones, which came out yesterday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once the zones are published for the week, they are carved in stone. They don't change in any way whatsoever. So this was the opening candle last night. We managed to get above the zone, which when price moves up to a zone like this, we expect resistance. When price drops to a zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. Support will always send the market looking for resistance. Resistance will always send the market looking for support. That's how markets work. Now, I explained this trade. We went all the way back to last Wednesday to find a window of opportunity. I did this in a mentoring session on Friday, and lo and behold, it came to pass. Okay, so we opened last night, get above the zone, get up to 52.87 and a quarter. Now the zone is 84.85. Basically, we're just consolidating along the zone. Okay, when price encounters a weekly zone, 70% of the time, what are you going to get? Consolidation. 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 20% of the time, rejection. 10% of the time, a slice. Now, we pulled back to the BBC and the zone, that's support times 2, and then red and falling turned to blue and climbing, and off we go to the target and to the zone. Okay, your entry here around 52.87 took you all the way up. Well, the next zone overhead was at 52.92/93. More than enough to get your goal for the day, as was back here. Okay, Michael has arrived, so we're going to pause that recap. He's going to give us a recap of what happened in the live training room. Then we'll go live on TradingView for 30 minutes. And then after that, I'll come back. We'll complete the CTA recap. We'll wrap things up with our good word for the day. Michael, when you do go live, one of the stocks you want to look at is DJT. It's up substantially today. Remember we
DJT.
Yeah, that's remember we looked at DWAC, and I told you that Trump was backing Truth Social into that shell. Yeah, it's doing real nice. It's doing real well today. So
DJT.
Yeah,
Okay.
we gave folks actionable intel yesterday.
DJT, I wrote it down.
Donald
Yeah,
J.
that
Trump.
other one, that shell yesterday, they changed the symbol on it. So it was
DWAC became DJT.
Yep, the symbol is no longer available if you try to go look at it, because that's what I had on my chart earlier this morning.
Yep, that's exactly right. Okay, I'll let you do your thing.
All right, excellent. Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 26th day of March, 2024. So, if you have not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on this purple button right here. When you click on that, you'll be up to this registration page. On this page right here, all we ask is your name, your email, your phone number, and down at the bottom, you can give us your TradingView login ID. All right, if you use that, we'll be able to enable your indicators. If you have an indicator, you can give us a shared machine ID, and we'll be able to enable indicators for you, so you'll be able to get your indicators indicating at the beginning of the trial, which we highly recommend. All right, that's how you take the free trial. Click on this purple button right here. Now, results. We're getting to the end of the month, guys. Getting to the end of the month. Only 2 more days in this section of the sheet. It's a good thing I got an extra day to fix the next section in here. It's, takes me a little while to get all that together properly. Anyway, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 26th day of March 2024. We were -8 on the NQ, +1 on the Russell, +15 on gold, +8 on the ES. That puts us at $215 with one contract. This morning it took 10 minutes and 2 trades to get to $1,500, and we took a total of 15 trades overall this morning. So on a month now, we're $6,905 with one contract. We're 18 business days, averaging $383 with one contract per morning session, right? That's on the month. On the year now, we're at $22,312 over 59 days, averaging $378 with one contract over 2-hour business days on the year, all right? We've gotten our goal for down 59 out of 59 days, and we've gone 218 business days since our last red day. The red day means I didn't get the goal and I ended negative. So it's been 218 business days since then. That was July of last year. So you can make a whole year again. Anyway, if you were to quit trading when you get your goal for the day and you're to add one contract per month, even if you're only trading one contract and did everything like I did so far this year, you would have only had to work 24.3 hours. But I started with 13 contracts in January, following the 2420 blueprint, being our 13th month. We're now in our 15th month, so we worked up to 15. And at the end of this month, going into next month, Monday, we'll be at 16 contracts. But I average $4,802 per hour on the year so far. All right, for those, when I get the goal for the day, I average $4,802 per hour. All right, so let's get into the trades. All right. We traded a little bit on every market today. We had gold. We have a few trades here on gold today, more than normal. So let's go back here, all the way back to the beginning. All right, we had some really nice blue arrows. We were using gold during our lesson plan. That's why it doesn't look like it's got a whole bunch of stuff on it. It does actually have everything it should have. But we're using gold for our lesson plan. And our very first trade on gold was right here. We picked up 5 ticks there. Then on the next one, we picked up 15 ticks. And then we stopped out over here. So we were at 20. Then we stopped out here, brought us back down to 10. Then we picked up another 5 right here to get us back to 15. And that was where we ended trading on gold. It just gave a blue arrow recently here, and you'd still be in that trade right now if you took it. All right, looking for it to get up here to the prior swing high. Looking at gold right here, it's not really favoring one side or the other all that much. It's got a little more on the ask side, so it looks like it's probably going to make it up to 78.6. Now, looking at the chart, is 78.6 a significant thing? So it is. 78.6 is where I swing high. It should get up there to 78.6 right now. That's what gold should do. You see how you have 3 blue arrows right in a row right here? That's because you came out of the oversold 3 times right here without touching the black line, while touching the leading edge, while touching the BBC. So it went up, out of the oversold, back in, up, out of the oversold, back in, up, out of the oversold again. So just the first one of those is actually actionable. All right, the first one of those is the only one you could take, because anything after that does not count until you have a higher swing. Or I guess you could have taken them all, because none of them went 4 ticks into profit yet either. So this is the final here. It looks like it's getting to 4 ticks. And that was gold today. Okay, that was gold. And Russell now, the Russell, let's see. Our first trade here on the Russell was a break even, and we had just one more trade on the Russell. No, there wasn't a lot of opportunity on it today. I took this one over here for 1 tick, and that was it for me on the Russell. I wasn't able to take this because I did take the black arrow and I got 1 tick in profit, but it didn't put in a lower swing, so I couldn't follow it up with that right there. And we just went sideways here. Okay, we just went sideways. That was the Russell. Now the ES. Let's take a look at the ES. Okay. On the ES, we had 1 trade. I don't know where it is, but we took 8 ticks profit on it. There it is right here. 1 trade right here. We took 8 ticks profit on that ES trade. There were some other blue arrows in here, but we're really bound up in between the weekly trading zones. Now there was a blue arrow here. That was at 4 o'clock in the morning. There was another blue arrow here at 7:30 in the morning. This is the one that we did take, and we had nothing else since then. So the ES, it's been, and it's going to be even worse next week, unless we have a huge range on Friday, between Thursday and Friday, because we have some news events tomorrow. I think we have 1 high impact news event tomorrow. There's something on Thursday, and we have a whole bunch of high impact news events on Friday, and Friday is a short day. So unless it's a huge range, it's going to be tight again next week with the weekly trading zones. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with those couple of days. But right now, you see how flat the ES is. We only had that 1 trade for 8 ticks. The NQ, we didn't have all that many trades on the NQ today either, and you can see the green arrows in here. The colors are a little richer here because they have multiple of them on. So you see blue and extra green. But we'll go back to the beginning here. And on the NQ, we started out right here with 4 ticks in profit. We started out with a break even on the very first one. Then we got 4 ticks in profit. Then we had another break even. And I missed all these blue things here that didn't give me anything. I stopped out there. That put us at -16. Then I had a break even on that trade there. Sorry, I got a break even on that. I missed the blue arrow right there. During the training session, all of these black arrows, if I'd have known we had the blue arrow there, I might have taken these black arrows, but it was all during the training right there anyway, so I probably wouldn't have done it. There was another blue arrow right here that I didn't take, and then more blue arrows here that I didn't take, and finally I took this one over here and I got 8 ticks in profit. That put us at -8 on the NQ. Did not put in a higher swing because I took that off the ribbon right there. Did not put in a higher swing, so I could not take this. If I did take that, it looks like it might have been just enough to get the stop to break even. During the break, there was 1 here and 1 here that worked out well, and 1 here and 1 over here that worked out well. Okay. So that was our day. That was our day. Let me go over here and make sure I got this ready to go. Looks like I do. Okay, good. So Dwayne, something else I wanted to do. I want to publish on this, and I'm not sure exactly what I have to do, but I'm going to hit publish on this and hit record video idea and continue publishing. I think that's going to prompt me to load a whole bunch of stuff. This, I'm going to do screen 2, allow, and we'll see what happens next. Here we go. It's starting right now. All right. So actually, I'm pretty sure I've done this. I'm just going to cancel it right now. Okay, so then go back here. I was going to do that. I don't know if you noticed right over there on the bottom, it said continue to publish at the bottom. When I did that, it just to get that thing complete. It's only 20 minutes. So at the end of 20 minutes, it would automatically kick me off of this. Else I got to do it 10 minutes in or something like that. We got to walk. Anyway, I'm starting the live stream right now. And we're looking for, all right, we're looking for a pullback here to over here we want to pull back and test that ribbon. Over here we want to test that ribbon, and over here we are testing this. On the gold, we need to actually put in a higher swing. Okay, So all these lines that you see right here are lines that I drew earlier today. Well, not all of them. There we go. Those are lines that I drew earlier today, I think. No, I'm sorry, I just took off. I just deleted something I didn't mean to do. Let me bump this down. We actually have a little bit of a short one on right here too, a ribbon trade on the end. I didn't mean to delete that XPP that I just knocked off there. Let's see if we can put it back on here. That looks all set. In here, this all set. Okay. I don't know what just happened. We just had a gap up right there. But what I did want to do is go and look at that one symbol that Dwayne was talking about. Okay. This one right here. We'll go to Mr. This morning I was saying I think Mr. is going to retrace. What I am saying it was going to retrace down here to something like that. 1760, 1750, 1760 is what I was looking for a retracement on that for. This is what Mr. looked like on the 5-minute chart today. But that one thing that Dwayne was talking about is DJT. DJT. Digital World Acquisition. Donald J. Trump. And that has had a little bit of an increase today. This is today. So I don't know if we have everything going on in here. Show for short selling. Draw pivot labels. Okay. Yeah, we got everything going in there. All right. So because this is an all-time high right here, it's only got one more. It did give us a buy back here at 69.60, and for 60, the next target up is 79.38. 59.60 is right up about $5, $4 so far, almost 10%. This is what it looks like on the 5-minute. If we go to a 1-minute, you might see a little more opportunity, a better entry point right here, 66.75. It's not even better; it's actually a little worse. 66 up to, I guess it was better. 66 up to 74. That's the entries that is given today on this, starting out the day. All right, that is the DJT. That is the new Trump thing that he's going to be able to use as collateral at some point, I imagine, for all the bonds that he's going to have to pay to get, hopefully, out of all the mess that he's in. God willing, he does become
Increased his
elected and
net worth on paper to $5 billion.
Yep. Yeah, just like that. I mean, it was like $3 billion here, and then it just increased another couple billion right there by going up that much. So it really doubled his net worth right there. You know he saw all this coming, and he's just been using all this stuff.
James had a stroke.
But here it is. Okay, so this looks like on this chart right here, on the 30-minute chart. I mean, it's only got like 2 days worth of stuff in it. So it doesn't have any history to really look at in here. But we'll see what it does moving forward. Okay, moving forward. Let's look at Mr. today. Mr. Right, because I was calling for that. Somebody asked in the morning session, one of the guys in the live stream this morning asked about what I thought of this. And I was saying, and I think it's in here. Right in here is where I think it's going to down to. It's due for a retracement, and the last retracement found support right here. So that's right about where the BBC is. That'd be perfect. And we'll see what Bitcoin does. Excuse me, I have hiccups. We'll see what Bitcoin does here in the meantime, but I don't know what it's doing today. Bitcoin's retracing a little bit today on the 30-minute. So far today it's up here at 71.6. What about Ethereum? Did I hit that in wrong? ETH. Ethereum futures. Oh. And this is what I was looking for down here. Okay, so that hasn't really registered yet either. It's done some, but it hasn't really registered. If we look at it on the daily chart, you'll see all the drawings that I had done in the past, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so on a daily chart, could be an inverted head and shoulder as well, because I think this is a shoulder, this is a head. It's going to build another shoulder over here. It'll be really bullish going in toward the election, really. Well, I don't know, it might not take that long to build this other shoulder in the summertime. Well, which then again is for the election. After the summer is when all the next earnings season comes. So should be some good stuff here, I think, between Ethereum and Bitcoin as we get through the rest of the year. I know we're a quarter of the way in, but still, I'm looking forward to this. From an investment perspective, politics perspective, I just shut the TV out. Actually, you know, that's what I do anyway. Stick my head in the sand and hope for the best. Politics. And vote for who I think is right. Anyway. So right here, this is on the gold right now. We want to see these blue arrows put in a higher swing. The blue arrows will trigger the target levels. You see, so we have all these target levels. This one here, then the next one, then the next one. Actually, the next one is right. It goes from this one right here at 2179 all the way up here to 84. It skips away. I skipped that one, but it does right after it. Those are the target levels that it's got projected if gold does stop. You have to keep that stuff in mind. All right, those are real target levels. We don't have anything that's really producing a trade. The closest thing is the ES right here. It's testing a ribbon. It could give us a down close, but it's so close to the weekly trading zone. It is so close to the weekly trading zone, we'll probably ignore it altogether if it trade. Right now, it'd be a blue arrow short, closed down right now. It's got a higher of 88.25, so we closed down at 86.25, but it'd be so close to the weekly trading zone. Okay. So this is the DJT, and this is on a 1 minute chart. Right. Let's put it on a different kind of chart. It's 68 bucks right now, so let's put it on a different kind of chart. 68 bucks. Every bar will be $1 in case there is $1. And you can see the last long trade it gave was back here, using it this way. Do every bar is 50 cents. So it gets your risk a little better in here. So in here, the last long was back here. The stop was $1. The stop was $1. The risk reward was 0.6. So that was because the risk from here to the reward from here to here is what it was looking at. Okay. And you know, if you really want to see 67.5 right here is what it's looking at. The difference between the entry from here and the stop to there, and the entry from here and the target there. Take the difference of those and divide them. That's what it's looking at. Okay. Yeah. So you can see right here that it did give enough for the risk reward to really, consider taking the trade. You stop to break even in that space. Then the next level would be right here, and then the next level after that would be right here, and then right there. And the 69.8, right? Yeah, right there, 69.87. So you can see how the target, they do all the work for you. All you have to do is just follow what it says. Right. Let's see who's in the room right now. Russell, Michael. I was looking for one particular guy. And I guess it's good you're there. Caleb. One other thing. Anyway, that's what this stock. Does anybody want to look at anything else? Do you want to see anything else? We ended up getting a black arrow right here. And again, I didn't want to take any arrow right here on this ES the way it is. Over here, the gold is trying to get up there to get to the first target level, but it hasn't gotten there yet. Okay, let me look out here on the live stream and see if anybody's asked anything out there yet. Don't think so. But if anybody has anything they want to ask, just please feel free to type it in. Yes, so tomorrow is Wednesday, right? Wednesday? Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. So we have 2 days left this week. Good days of trading left this week. And on the key right here, we're pulling back to test the ribbon. And well, we're not quite there yet. We do have an outer band that's spread out a little bit, so that's one good thing. Over here on the gold, we are quite to the first level here. We have to get up above that first target level to consider taking another trade in that direction. Okay. And still nothing here on these other markets. It's really slow in here right now. We have about 17 minutes left of slow. Nobody asked any questions. Hood, do you want to talk about Hood? You've heard talks. Okay, let's take a look at that. Thank you for asking the question, Caleb. The end was down at the ribbon. This could give us a trade here as well. We need to close off the ribbon here on the NQ. Whether it comes out of the oversold or not, this would be a valid trade. 46 up to 50 right now on that. Okay, 46 up to 50. And there it is right there. The up close at V, and it did come out of the oversold and give a blue arrow, and I got 2 ticks to slip on that. But so let me slide that up 2 ticks. And we'll see where that goes. I'll look at Hood with you right now. I don't need to see that anymore. So let's just look at Hood right now. HOOT. Hood on NASDAQ. All right, so this is on a 50 range. Going back, 50 range is quite a bit, apparently. It doesn't have a lot of range to it. Hood gave a long trade on a 50 range a couple days ago, last week, right in here at 1839. Looking here, these are what the target levels are. And, that's looking back at hundreds of pivots. Just finding the next ones back that are above where we are right now. Right, the next swing highs, we'll call it, as it looks back. Over hundreds of them. If you were to actually, if you look at the indicator, you put the things on. We got to go to take some profit here and get our stop to break even. Hang on, let me focus on this for a second. Okay, if we get up to 52.50 right here, we're gonna hit break even on that. I'm afraid we've already gotten there once, but here we go. Stop. All right, now let's go look at the NQ and manage that trade really quick because this is actually real money. It's important that I actually pay attention to it. All right, so 54 up here. Once it gets up to 54, I should have trailed my stop anyway. When it got up close to 54, I should have trailed and locked in something. Probably trail my stop. Okay, when I see it toward the prior swing high, I trail my stop and start locking in because that's when it's going to pull back the first time. So I should have just locked a little bit in on that. All right, back to Hood. Let's see, Caleb. So this is looking back here. If we do this on like a 30-minute, now you might see where some of those pivots were. And if we actually turn them on, you can see in here, draw pivot labels. There you go. So you can see back here what was the 19s that it's looking back at. And if you look I guess you had to go way back to see what it's finding above that. Hang on. Let me go on to a different time frame here. Let's go to a daily and see what the daily shows. Okay. Oh, the daily's got it all the way up to 47 and change there. But still, you got to go way back to find anything like that. There it is. That was 2 years ago. 2 years ago to get numbers like that. And it's the year that it's showing in there, the 43.36 and the 47.84. It's out of rain bar. That's why it's drawing it way down here. But something happened way back here. I don't know if it had something, I don't know. But you heard talks of it back into the 30s range. Well, it seems like it's possible. I mean, it'd be, 30% gain from where we are right now. It seems certainly feasible to get it back up into the 30s range. But there's a lot of things that can get a 30% gain on. I mean, this is obviously if you want to. But there's a lot of different ways you can do that. For example, let's go here. I can't do that with this. I'm sorry. I keep trying to do things that I can't do with this because I keep thinking those are tabs. They're windows, but they're not. I don't know what that is. Candy Crush Saga. Yeah, that's me. If we go here to target view trades and we go in here and just do earnings, and we'll do, you know what? Can't accept on that. And spread this out and click on this and earnings update. I have earnings this week. Let's do earnings next. Okay. I'll close. Thanks. I thought I shut that off. I will just do sort by technical ratings, and we don't have. I guess we can buy here for next week. But things that might go 30% before that goes 30%. I don't know what this stock is right here, but it's $50.66. This one right here is $2.35. It's got a 4% change already. It's got earnings coming up next week. Wait, that's not good. Let me go here and filter out just a little bit more. Okay. There we go. We'll filter it out just a little bit more. And now we have something like this one. I got rid of all the strong buys by filtering it out just a little bit more. I'll take something that's like this right here. We'll say this is already up 37% now. I don't know what that is, but it's got earnings coming out. It's retail trade. I don't even know what stock it is. It's retail trade. It's horrible earnings per share. I don't know what it is. What is that? That is Kazoo Group Limited. Horrible earnings. Wow, that's almost embarrassing. Let's look at this one here. All right, this is gonna buy on it. It's only 0.28%. Look at CAG. Now, what does it look like? It's down 21% over the year. It's up almost 2% on the year. It doesn't look like it's a big move or a shaker here. I'm looking for the 52 range, but anyway, to get 30% on this, well, it'd be about the same thing, really. This is already at 30, so it would have to go up 10 or 13 to get 30% gain on that. So let's not look at that one. Let's look at something else that's scheduled to trigger next week. I'm kind of that Kazoo one. Why did that? I don't know why that triggered a strong buy, but I'm going to put that in. CZOO. Let's go look at that. CZOO. CZOO. Kazoo. Who names that company Kazoo? That's what it said, right? Let's go back and look at that. Here. CZOO. New York Stock Exchange. Kazoo. Is anything working? Looks like my computer just kind of jammed up. Let's see if I go to, yeah, it doesn't look like anything's working here. I don't know, 4 range it switched. Go back to 30-minute. And now we'll see if we can go to CZ. Futures, try NQ. I must be having some sort of issue here with the trading. Oh yeah, I do have over here on my other monitor. I have an app crash thing. Let me hit restart. It's going to restart this and bring it right back up, hopefully. Anyway, so you heard that's going to be in the 30s range. Okay, I can bring that back up on a browser instead. Yeah, go right here to products, super charts. And I guess I should probably log in. Sign in. Not there. Not there. Hit on that. It's not gonna be the right sign in thing. Let me try it over here instead. Go to TradingView.com. Oh no, I can't because I'm signed in on the other side of there. I'm gonna have to go through this. Let's try to open it up right now. Okay, so we'll go back out here and we'll look at Kazoo again if we can. Let's look at this. It's ZZOO, Kazoo. Kazoo Group Limited. All right. Well, you can see today it's had a pretty good day today. It gave a long down here at 395 and it ran all the way up almost 100% to 723. So Kazoo's had a pretty good day. If it was yesterday, you would have still found the same thing. I'd say it's a little too late to get in now. What I was talking about is the 30% gain that you were talking about. You know, there's a lot of things that give you a 30% gain. This is almost 100% gain in a couple of days. You know, I don't know what time frame we were talking about, but if we look over here, go through that same exercise, you go to target view trades and grab any one of these, like this one right here. It's already up 22%, so that one's not going to be a good one to look at. But this one, ZOM is a health tech stock. That's 13 cents. I don't want to do anything that small. I just want to look at check and see what it did. DHEK. I don't know what it is. It doesn't really matter. It's are you getting the right signals? And this is on a 5-minute chart. If we do it on a 1-minute chart, you're getting the right signals. You know, in here, day. It started out the way, and it's out today. Yeah, right here at 9:30. So from 9:30, it wasn't that great. But the stop on that, let's see what the stop would have. Yeah, the stop would have been huge on that. You definitely would have not wanted to do this right here. Hit the reward. Sorry, not right there. Let's go to the next bar again. There we go. The stop on that was huge. All right, you stop 65 cents, 0.22 risk reward. So you probably wouldn't want to do that. If you get into one of these other signals in here that worked out just fine, you know, just stop on one of these. This one right here, your stop is going to be much less, and the reward much better. 2.6 risk reward. The stop's penny and a half. Is the stop on this. So there's a penny and a half, and your first target from 238 was 242. So 4 cents for a penny and a half. The next target was all the way up to 253 from 238. So that's a 15 cent gain for a 2 cent. I don't know how it did get up to 253. It didn't get all the way up to 253, but it did get up to 248, which is pretty good. But I guess what I was trying to show you is that, you know, I know you had a reason for wanting to look at hood, but there's a lot of things out there that you can look at that, you know, you can pick your own criteria. If you want to make sure you have something that's got positive P to E, and, you know, like this CAG, we didn't look at the CAG. Let's go look at that. What is that? ConAgra Brands. Okay. CAG. Brands, ConAgra. And this is on a 1-minute chart. So starting today, now this was yesterday, so it didn't give you a trigger right here. I'm surprised that was yesterday too. trigger it gave was right here at 10:29 this morning. That was just a little bit into profit. I don't know what the risk reward was on that one. We hit replay and go right there. I'll tell you what the risk reward was. 4.6. That wasn't bad. You're only risking 3 cents on it though. So there's not a lot of risk on that one. The first was 29, 26, 29, 27, which I guess is right here. This prior swing high right here. I don't know what it did, but if we turn that on and we speed it up a little bit, that should have sped it up faster. I guess I slowed it down. 3 updates per 1 second there. That'll speed it up faster. Okay, so that one would eventually stop you out. And then that one was another 3.5. And then this one right here would have made up for it all. Right here, their score was 2. You would have been risking 2.5 cents. Your entry 29.095. The first target 29.14, and it went up to 29.16. So 2-1 risk reward. So the stop out that you would have had there for a couple of cents, and back in that other one for a couple of cents, you would have made up for it and then some. Not just suggesting that you're going to trade the same stock over and over again in the same day, which is a whole other thing when you get into equities. Day stock equities is a different animal. You got to have different things to be able to do that. I'm not suggesting you do that, but if you put it on a 5-minute, yesterday afternoon we gave a great opportunity right here that ran all the way there, and if we do the replay on that, let's hit the replay again. I guess we could do this. Hit that to right there. Your risk reward on that one was 2.85. Okay, and I believe it hit all those targets. 29.585, I guess. Almost all those targets. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. So you can see there's a ton of opportunities out there for all you guys that want to trade. And this stuff, it doesn't just work with stocks. It works with everything. It works with everything. If you want to look at the NQ on a 5-minute or on the M contract. Now with the NQ, you want to turn on the shorts too. You don't want to have the longs, but you can turn on the shorts too. Okay, and so then you'll see in here on the 5-minute chart, the last thing it gave was a short trade here. Okay, and the risk reward on that was 1.08. The short at 556, the first target at 584. So it hit the first target right down here at 534 from 550. Pretty good stuff. If you want to do it, if that risk is too much, you can do it on a 1 minute, and then the stops will be smaller. Like right now, you see it's still computing as this bar gets ready to close. It's still computing this, but when this bar closes here in 12 seconds, these numbers will be solid up here. I don't know what they're going to be, but they'll be solid numbers in 12 seconds. And you're almost there. They're there. Solid numbers. So your risk reward on this is 6.3 based upon the target, which is right here, right? The first target is 553.75. Yep. The first target, which is right here, which isn't very far away. You might want to consider the next target, which is up here, which is going to change that number considerably. And the risk, which is right down here. Okay, 541.5. So it works on everything. Okay, and this is on a 1 minute chart. You can put it on the range chart too if you want to. And the same information. You just can't go back and look at the replay on the chart. Okay, but you can just look at what it did in all the places that it did it. All right, that's enough with that. Again, if you haven't taken a free trial with us, let me show you that again. All right, if you haven't taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com. Go here to my trading. I want to say one more thing about this. See all these news events on Friday? Now, the futures markets are open half day on Friday. The stock market is not open at all on Friday. If you haven't taken a free trial yet, go to mytradingiq.com. Click on this right here, the purple thing. It's going to bring you to this registration page. There is no credit card trial. First name, last name, email, phone number. Put it all in there, and it will send you everything you need to get into the room in the morning. Okay. and to get your indicators activated. Down here, if you're using TradingView, give us login ID right here so it can activate your indicator set for you. If you do this now, you'll have it over the long week. All right. Same thing with Ninja Trader. Give us your machine ID, we'll get that activated for you. And if you do it now, you'll have it over the long weekend. The one thing I did want to point out again in here, Friday, stock market's closed, futures market's open. We have several high impact news events on Friday. So the difference between the close of stocks on Thursday and the open on Monday is going to be significant. Do with that what you will. All right. Dwayne, I'm going to pass it out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, up the mountain, America's largest city park, if you are ready. Okay, if you're, oh, you must not be ready because normally just grabbed it. Yes, I did. Okay.
Yeah, I got busy doing something else.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That is okay. That is okay.
So you ready to switch it on?
It passed back out the fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A overlooking South Mountain. It's the largest city park. You are ready.
Yeah, I am. Don't ever get stuck in a loop arguing with a bot. It will get you nowhere.
And they have the patience to just sit there and keep arguing and arguing.
Especially the Duda bot.
No.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Recap of the morning session.
10 minutes, 2 trades, $1,500.
Outstanding.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to rip through these. I already showed you at the beginning of the broadcast the list that all members and trial members received last evening at 6:35 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday session begins Monday night. Tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern will begin the Wednesday session. If you come from the world of equities, that may be discombobulating because you're used to the session beginning that day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Those of us who understand futures, they trade around the clock, and we have traders around the globe. So every one of our members had all of these last night. Okay? You want to grab a screenshot? You can. If you're watching after the fact, you can hit pause on the YouTube video, jot down the numbers important to you, because we're going to walk through each one of the markets. All stuff I said earlier in the broadcast, but inevitably somebody has joined late, and well, here we are. Okay. So, did we run up and hit the target? Yes, on the long side. And did we hit the zone? Yes. What do we expect when we run up to a zone? Resistance. Drop to a zone, support. So we go up to the zone, pull back into blue and climbing, which provides support, and sends us up to the next zone. Almost. We missed hitting it by 1.5 points. But had that perfect stack. Price, step line, blue and climbing. It's when that step line crossed from the left side of blue and climbing to the right side. That's an indication price is going to attempt to pull back to the BBC. And that's exactly what it did. Where it consolidated quite a few hours. Here we reached down and tagged the next zone low, which is 52.84/85. Now we're below the BBC. We've got red and falling. Step line has crossed red and falling. So we may see a pullback to the BBC. One of two things will happen. In fact, price is always trying to do one of two things. Break the previous swing high or the previous swing low. Oh, come on, it can't be that simple, can it? Well, there's 2,400 plus episodes at youtube.com/CFRN. Shows you not a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda, but these numbers, the zones were published yesterday morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. Targets were published at 6:35 p.m. Eastern last night. So you can choose at random any one of the very many daily episodes on the YouTube channel. See the same thing over and over and over again. Okay? Some consider it boring because they're looking for an adrenaline rush. Okay? That may be why you're having trouble succeeding as a trader. You don't go to the markets to get your adrenaline rush. Go do something else. Jump out of a perfectly good airplane like one of my friends does every Saturday out of Falcon Field. Packs his own chute, jumps out of the plane, and that lets him get his yah-yahs out so that when it comes time to trade, he can actually focus on his work. He doesn't need to get excitement from the market. He's there to extract dollars, not a rush. Now, is that you? I don't know. But you should be asking yourself that question right now. Is that me? If it is, you need to rethink the way you're approaching things. Okay? Now, here's where we opened. 5 minutes into the life of this candle, the targets came out. We never gave any serious thought to the short target at this stage because we had the zone, which we expect to be support. See how price dropped to the zone, found support. Support will always send the market looking resistance. Now this resistance is twofold. BBC, previous swing high. So we consolidated along the BBC for hours. I'm telling you, this is like going to be a grueling week. More grueling as the days go by. But right here, caught a pop. It's right up to the target. Now, why did price stop climbing there? Well, you'd have to ask yesterday. After we hit the target, we get below the BBC, get a leg, takes us down to the zone, support, a retracement, which takes us back up to the BBC. Straight a leg all the way down. Then we pull back up and then we came all the way down again. Then we pull back up into the target. Pretty narrow and trade. But it's what we have. So we have basically a triple top going on here. Yeah, pretty close. Double top there. Add in that top and that top, that top. Let's just call it resistance. We know that's a very strong area of resistance. Now, if it gets broken to the upside, where's your next resistance? Right here. After that, right there. And after that, there, which is basically the zone. What about on the way down? Well, if price gets below the BBC, I want to make sure price gets below that low right there. Then 39,735 down to 39,705. That would be 30 points. I'll need 20 points in the Dow to get your goal for the day. Zone is 39,700/75. On the Russell, this was the opening candle last night. This is a candle the CTAs came out. Market found support here at the zone. We're above the VBC. Got blue and climbing below. Make a run right up to the target. Now this one candle opened at 2104.60. Let's just call it 2105 to be conservative. It's $200 per contract traded up to the target. If you've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, that's $2 grand. Put the cart before the horse, though. It's awkward for the cart and the horse. You start in demo. Put together 10 consecutive days in a row to reach your goal, 10 trades or less. Once you accomplish that, then our blueprint will give you the green light to go live with one contract. Once you go live, then your goal is to increase your account balance by $2 grand. Once you accomplish that, the blueprint will give you the green light to add a second contract. Now, big difference between the first and second contract is the first contract is added with your startup capital, money you funded your account with. The second contract is funded with profit you earned in the market. Blueprint's going to tell you when to add number 3, number 4, number 5, number 10, all the way up to number 20. By then, we figure you got the hang of it. Okay. But you only add one at a time, when it's time, and only with profit you earned in the market. There would be no reason to increase the number of contracts you're trading if you're not able to add it with profit you earned in the market. You got to kind of get back to basics and profit, get the balance sheet in order. Okay, now that 2420 blueprint is not only going to help you with migrating from your demo into live trading. Okay, it's also going to help you write your business plan, your trading plan. 9 out of 10 new traders don't even know they need a business plan or a trading plan. Maybe that's why 9 out of 10 new traders fail, along with the fact that they don't have a teacher to teach them how to do the job. So we provide you with a teacher 2 hours every trading day in an interactive environment. Plus, we teach you how to write the business plan, and we teach you how to write the trading plan. So we open, we run to the target. Okay. Market finds resistance, going to go look for support. The zone's 2102/2103. Market finds support, it's going to go look for resistance. That resistance, should be expecting it. Resistance sends the market looking for support. Price always reverts to the mean. In our case, the mean is green. We call it the BVC, bull bear cross. And as you can see, the pullback holds more often than it doesn't. So we catch another big leg and one more retracement to the BVC. And then we spike the zone overhead. And 2116/2117. Spike it, but look where we end up. After that big run up, okay? By the time the 30-minute candle closed, price had been all the way back to the target. and closed here. Then the next candle traded through the BBC down to the zone where it consolidated. Reached down enough to give you your goal for the day. Reached all the way to the target. Now the step line is currently crossing red and falling. Turning a red candle. We're about to run into support right there. So don't be surprised if price reverses and goes back to the VVC for resistance. And if the pullback holds, be prepared for a leg down to the short target once we clear the weekly zone. If price trades through the BBC, keep in mind you've got a bearish cross right here. Whenever you have a bearish cross or a bullish cross that leads to an extended move, first time price revisits that area will almost always be good support or resistance depending upon if it's a bullish or bearish. On the NQ, here's the open, the leg, we get a retracement back to the zone. Get above the VVC, make a run up to the target. Now, from 18,560 to the zone at 70/71, that's 10 points. $20 a point, that's $200 per contract traded. Then we pull back to the zone, find support, which sends us up to the target again and to the zone. Resistance is going to send us looking for support, which we find at the zone. Support sends us looking for resistance, which we find at red and falling. And now here we find ourselves on the way to the zone below at 18,515/18,516. There once, most likely we're headed back. Okay. All right. Crude oil. Here's the open. Get above, red and falling. Okay. Got blue and climbing. You got price, step line, blue and climbing, everything you need. This one candle opens at 82.11 and runs up to 82.25. It's $140 per contract traded in that one candle. For the 10 contract trader, of course, it's $1,400. Price pulls back to the VBC. Pullback holds for a bit. It attempts higher, but runs into red and falling, which we expect to be resistance until otherwise. And that resistance sends us where? Down to the zone. And this swing low right here was defined yesterday. So from here, punch our way back above BBC. See that bearish cross right there? Haven't touched that yet. It will someday. Okay. So we come back to the zone, support. If we spike it, the support holds because both candles are still touching the zone. Get above the BBC. And we make a run from 82.12, roughly 82.27. You only need 10 ticks to get your goal for the day. And then price gets below the BBC, runs through the target, takes out these lows, and misses the short target by 3 ticks. So we go back to the VBC. Remember, price always reverts to the mean. Over and over and over. So now If we take out this low and we take out this low, we got a beautiful window of opportunity from 81.55 down to 81.45. $100 per contract traded. For the 10 contract trader, it's $1,000. Okay, $1,000 a day is a pretty nice living. Top 3% of all wage earners worldwide. But it's not going to happen by luck. It's not going to happen because you bought the right indicator or the right oscillator. It's only going to happen if you show up, do the work, ask the questions, and actually learn how to trade. True story. Gold. Gold got a little bit excited. Okay, here's the open last night. We come down to the short target, go for the day, and find support at the zone. No surprise. Now the zone's 2169/2170. Okay, so we pull back to the zone, hitting the short target again. Support sends us looking for resistance. We hit the target. We sweep through the zone, taking out this swing high here. We run all the way to the zone overhead at 21.98. We expect that to be resistance until proven otherwise. And it was. And then the step line crossed blue and climbing. You see, on the way up, you had the perfect stack. Price, step line, blue and climbing, BBC. But once that step line went from the left side of blue and climbing to the right side of blue and climbing, you should be expecting a retracement to the BBC. That's what we got. In fact, even though the pullback holds more often than not, we know eventually it will trade through. That keeps the markets fluid and tradable. And we spike down, hit the target to the tick. Had a little bounce back to the BBC. This pullback held. That sent us back down to the zone, down to the target, and put us right in this area where the bullish cross happened. Remember, when you have a bullish cross that leads to an extended move, first time price revisits that area will almost always be good support. And it was. Step line is crossing red and falling. Look for price to move up to the zone and the BBC. And if the pullback holds, we'll get another leg to the downside. If the pullback doesn't hold, then you got lots of opportunity up to this zone, but remain keenly aware of the potential resistance here at 2186.6, 2190.3, and 2193.3. And even here at 2195. Remember, you only need $1 in movement. 2179 to 2180. That's $100 per contract traded. Now, when crude moves $1, which it certainly didn't do today, actually 82.30 to 81.30. Price ends up dropping to 81.30 today, this zone below. From 82.30 up here to 81.30. That's $1,000 per contract traded. Gold we already covered. Silver. Here's where we opened last night, below the BBC. So price pulls up to the BBC, price always reverts to the mean. resistance. Resistance sends us looking for support. So we hit the short target. Okay. Notice on this candle, we took out that low. We actually got down to here. Okay. This is just above this low here. Buyer stepped in early, drove us above the BBC, all the way to the long target. See how you had that perfect stack on the way up? Price, step line, and climbing. Okay. Then you get a retracement to the zone, which we expect to be support. So proven otherwise, and it was. And it sent us almost all the way to the zone overhead. But it ran into a problem or resistance from yesterday. Look at the horizontal line on the cursor. Got a double top there. But where's price now? Consolidating at the zone. 2460/61. Step line is attempting to cross red and falling. If it does, price to move up to the BBC. And if the pullback holds, a leg to the downside. Doesn't hold, there's a bearish cross right here. That represents potential resistance. On the euro, here's where we opened above the BBC. We had a leg, retracement, and a leg. Hit the target. A retracement and a leg that exceeded the target. Wide price stop there. So have a look at last Friday. Find your answer. Then price gets below the BBC, along with red and falling, and goes all the way to the zone. Remember, when price hits a zone, 70% of the time, consolidation, 20% of the time, rejection, 10% of the time, slice. Brings us back to our daily chart where we still don't have much going on. Now we're well off the high of the day. Okay, put that in more perspective. Here's the high of the day. It's actually the high of the week. Because this is Tuesday, this is Monday, this is Friday. Okay. So we've put in a high and a lower high. If we get below this low right here, oh, let's call it 52.79. Should have clear sailing to 52.76. It's 3 points. You only need 2 points to get your goal for the day. Now again, if by the close today, now the market's falling, you can see that clearly here. It has run into support, okay? And there's other areas where it will potentially find support. But if price takes out, big picture, 52.60, 260, look for a brisk move to 52.20. It's 40 points at $50 a point. It's $2,000 per contract traded. You've earned the right to trade 10. Well, it's 20 grand. Okay. Alrighty. Want to become a member of our happy family? And we really are a family. I know that's easy to say, but we actually do life together. All of our members. Pretty tight-knit group. If you want to become a member, go to mytradingiq.com. If you have questions, call 949-42-EMINI. You can also text us at 949-423-6464, which is 949-42 Emini. Or go old school and just send us an email, support@cfrn.net. What do we have? Passport. Is the passport. It's your all-access pass to everything we do and everything we've ever done. 9 out of 10 new traders fail because they don't have anyone to teach them how to do the job. What's the job? The job's trading. So if you're going to become a trader, you have to learn how to trade. Now, you may scrape by for a while, letting somebody else tell you when to get in and when to get out. But eventually, well, you know what's going to happen. You've got to be able to depend on yourself. The market shows up for work every day. Price flows the same way every day across all markets and all time frames. Support to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, over and over, again and again, never-ending cycle. The live trading room, 2 hours every trading day. It's an interactive environment. Do not be afraid to ask questions. The purpose of the live training room is your questions. There's no question you can ask that hasn't already been asked. And you're going to get the same answer that the last person who asked the question got. Because our methodology, our strategy, it's all built on the underlying principles upon which markets operate. And those principles have been in effect since the inception of the markets and will remain in effect until the markets cease to exist. So you can go chasing rainbows and moonbeams, but if you're serious about the business of trading, the second you become a member, go to work on that 24/20 blueprint. Start trading in demo. You're never going to learn how to trade watching somebody else trade. If you're pushing buttons yourself, in other words, trading in your demo account, don't focus so much on trying to match the person you're watching move for move, because you're always going to be a few seconds behind. Focus on why he's doing what he's doing, more so than what he is actually doing. Okay? If your focus is trying to match him step for step, then you're not learning the underlying principle of why he just did what he just did. There's a reason for everything we do in regards to our strategy. And those rules never change. That's why you'll get the same answer to your question that the last person who asked that question asked. And here's the thing. Our strategy is so simple. After a couple of weeks, if you actively participate, this is not a spectator sport. You got to get in there, trade in your demo account. Nobody's looking over your shoulder. Nobody's judging you. You get stopped out 10 times in a row. Nobody's going to laugh at you. Nobody cares. I'm sorry, that sounds cruel. But that's the purpose of the demo account. Make the mistakes, the boneheaded mistakes that we all make, where it doesn't cost you money. Get yourself ready. Okay? If you don't show up for spring training, you think the coach's going to let you play in the opening game? I don't think so. Because our strategy is so simple. In a couple weeks, you're going to run out of questions. Or you may start to ask a question and you'll realize, oh, wait a minute, I already know the answer to that. But hey, you can ask again if you want, just to see if what I'm saying is true, if you get the same answer. Try it. It's true. If you want a fighting chance at becoming the 1 out of 10 who doesn't fail, whether you hire us or somebody else, you need somebody to teach you how to do the job. Now, if you had unlimited time and unlimited money, could you probably figure something out on your own that would work? Maybe. Maybe not. Or you can simply learn a time-tested, battle-tested method that does work day after day after day. The choice is yours. It's your trading business. But if you hire us to train you, we're going to do everything in our power to teach you everything that we know, give you the reasons why, all of that. And if you simply follow that model, it shouldn't be too long before you're able to reach your goal for the day on a consistent basis. Then it just becomes a matter of adding contracts over time. Start and demo. Once you qualify to go live, 1 contract. You're going to trade that 1 contract until you increase your account balance by $2 grand. And you'll add a second with profit you earn in the market. Okay, I've already gone through that. It's all in the blueprint, step by step. Along with the live trading room, you're going to have access to our very vibrant trading community. Okay. In Telegram, as a trial member, you have access to a couple channels. But once you become a passport holder, then the gates are going to swing wide on all the private channels. You'll have access to everything. You'll also have access to one-on-one mentoring at no additional cost. The strategy you learn, the indicators you own as a passport holder are fluid across all markets and all time frames. As a passport holder, you'll get the Logic 247 alerts, the concierge trade alerts, be able to attend the members only workshop every Thursday night. All that and much more. It really is everything a trader needs, all under one roof at one low price. And no gotchas. Let's wrap it up with a good word for today. Yesterday, talked about, do you know why you're here? And I hope you gave that some thought since then, because it's kind of an important question. So we'll switch gears and go to a different topic today. How to pray when you're sick. James 5:14. Is anyone among you sick? Here's what the Bible says. Here's the full verse, James 5:14 through 15. Is anyone among you sick? Let them call the elders of the church to pray over them and anoint them with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer offered in faith will make the sick person well. The Lord will raise them up. So let's be in no doubt. When we're sick, we are told to call for the church elders to anoint us with oil and pray over us, believing that we will be healed. In times of sickness, we're also told to pray for one another. Jesus said in Mark 16, "And these signs will follow those who believe in my name. They will lay hands on the sick and they will recover." If you are sick today, pray, "Lord, even though the doctor's report is negative, you have the last word concerning my life. Your word says in Psalm 139, you saw me before I was born. Every day of my life was recorded in your book. Help me to action any lifestyle changes that will make a difference to my quality of life. Raise me up as a testimony to your healing power. You are the changeless, miracle-working God, yesterday, today, forever." Hebrews 13:8. I take authority over every defective part of my body and command each one to be made whole in the name of Jesus. I decree that I will not die before my appointed time, but will live to report what you have done. Psalm 118. By faith, I stand on your word and declare, by your stripes I am healed. Isaiah 53:5. Now, that's powerful, right? Saturday night, I sat in the living room at my brother-in-law's house and watched him take his last breath. Why didn't y'all pray for him? We did. Why didn't y'all lay hands on him? We did. Why didn't you anoint him with oil? We did. But remember, Jesus said that you will not die before your appointed time. None of us knows when our appointed time is. And when people lose a loved one, that's when the enemy has a really good shot at destroying that person's faith in God, the author of life and the finisher of our faith. So, yes, we pray for healing. Yes, we lay hands. Yes, we anoint with oil. But always we pray the will of the Father. Not my will, but thy will be done. Just as Jesus prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane and said, Father, if there's any way you could take this cup, that'd be great. But your will be done. And as we approach Easter and Good Friday, we know how that played out. The Father did not take the cup. He did not let it pass. But Jesus completed the mission that he was sent to earth to do, to become the Savior of all mankind. Now, you're not Jesus and I'm not Jesus, but every one of us that God created, he created each and every one of us for a unique purpose, a unique destiny. As we head into this Easter weekend, if you're not confident what God's destiny is for your life, his purpose, start talking to him. Just ask him, hey God, I've been going to church, I serve, I greet, I clean the toilets, whatever. I get up in the pulpit and preach, whatever. But I'm still not sure I found your perfect will for my life. I can be a bit of a bonehead sometimes, God. You know that. Could you make it clear? Could you make it evident? Because I want to live my life eyes wide open to the fullest with no reservation. He will answer you if you listen. But remember, we talked about this at the beginning of the broadcast. It'll be a whisper. And we'll continue for the next 4 days talking about that at the beginning of each broadcast. How to hear God's voice. And something I'm probably going to share with you on Thursday. I don't know, I've done it for many years now, but we celebrate Good Friday. We know what that represents. Crucifixion on the cross. And we celebrate Sunday. The miraculous resurrection from the dead. But what about Saturday? I want you to think about that. The disciples had faithfully followed Jesus, had seen him do miracles and wonders, give sight to the blind, allow the lame to walk, healing all kinds of sickness and disease, physical and mental. But yet he couldn't even take himself off that cross. Oh, he could. And the Bible teaches us there was a legion of angels just waiting for him to say the word. And they'd have mopped up all those Roman soldiers. But he didn't. He knew what he had come to do. Now, at the very end, he felt like God had forsaken him. My God, why hast thou forsaken? But God had not forsaken him. That moment, I believe God looked the other way. So we know all about Good Friday, and we know all about Easter Sunday. But Saturday, that had to have been one of the toughest days in the entire New Testament. Those disciples were suddenly wanted criminals. Their leader had been crucified publicly in a very humiliating manner. They were hiding out in each other's houses because the authorities, the religious leaders of the day, the Sanhedrin and others, were looking for them. They wanted to probably do the same thing to them. But it's not just the fear of man, but they were thinking what Jesus uttered from the cross. Jesus, why have you forsaken us? He had not forsaken them. He had just ransomed back their lives for eternity. But they didn't fully understand that. I'm sure they were sad. There was fear. There was crying, wailing, gnashing of teeth, whatever. Now, how much of life in this world we live in today is like that Saturday? Well, guess what? You change that with 5 words. Come see. Jesus is alive. Do you have a neighbor that doesn't believe? You've asked them to church 100 times and they always blow you off as they crack open another can of beer, switch to another game on the big screen. If you care about them, if you care about their eternity, what's it going to hurt to ask one more time? In fact, you can word it that way. Dude, so you still don't believe there's any God, huh? You know how I feel about that. Come see. Jesus is alive. And take him to church with you on Sunday. That's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with his mercy and with his grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.